Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of AEW Weekly Wrap Up. I'm your host, Ethan Black. Today, we're going to talk about the AEW shows from this week and give you a top of Ring of Honor very quick and also preview for Saturday's Rampage and next week's shows. So, we'll just get started with Dark Elevation from March 20th. So, the opening match, we had Sky Blue going with TFA, or fully known as Terran from Accounting. So TFA attacks Sky Blue for the bell and hits a modified overdrive. Did some kicks from TFA. She tries to go for the razors, but Sky Blue counters a small patch for a 2 count. Blue fires with strikes with a knee strike. From Blue then hits up top and hits a cross bite for a 2 count. TFA avoids a Skyfall and then a knee with Argentine backbreaker into a facebuster for a 2 count. Blue hits a kick to the body and then Code Red, or Cold Blue in her case, for the win at 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Wasn't a bad opener. I got a 4 out of 10. Then our second match with JK rolling with Adam McKnight. Hager with some quick Matt returns, he poses. Adam McKnight tries to do one of his own, but Jake Hager fights him. Only hits a close on and some stalling from Hager. He punches him in the corner and body blows. Close on from Hager and then the Hager bomb for the win at 2 minutes and 3 seconds. I give this 2 out of 10, too short. Then match number 3, we got Emmy Sakura going with So Zager. So match started with a lockup, then Sakura almost a chop to the ropes, then Sager, and then Emmy avoids another lockup, leading to So fire some punches and a draw kick. Sakura tosses her by the hair, scoops him by Emmy, then a back rake. More shots by Sakura. She gets better of So, but So keeps trying to fight back. Ellis and Emmy slaps her in a double hook backward for a 2 count. So fights over spinning backward and lets it into Gary, then a pump kick in the corner for a running knee. So hits up top, hits a draw kick for a 2 count. Emmy carries a suplex over his Dervish. Corner crossbody from Emmy, then a Romero special. And then she does it a few times before getting her in a Dragon Sleeper. And then another Romero special for the submission win at 4 minutes and 3 seconds. I give this 4 out of 10. In our next match, we got Brandon Cutler going with Jason G here. So Cutler grabs the side heel hook that short block, but Jason lands a back elbow to cut off Brandon, and he takes over strikes and suplex. Leg scissors turn into a straight ankle lock from Gier, but Cutler gets the ropes quickly. Some quarter offense from Jason, but Brandon hits an elbow, then they start trading strikes, but Cutler dodges one, hits a palm strike. We get some dancing elbow drops from Cutler, but Jason covers onto an armbar, then switch back to a weird naked choke, but Cutler gets himself out of the corner. Cutler hoists Jason into his shoulders and airplane spin from him. They both end up dizzy, so Jared jumps on the back Cutler for another weird naked choke, but Brandon starts spinning again, then falls on top for a 2 count, then Jason grabs a choke again, but Cutler does the Bret Hart Stone Cold spot from 1996. He flips over and gets him for the win at 3 minutes and 37 seconds. This was kind of like a comedy match. I give 5 out of 10. It was alright. So for the next match, we get Page coming down to the ring. He cuts him off as they're coming down. Page comes to content being booed as he's Canadian. First wants to be a Canadian host. He has the mic to Matt Hardy, who's happy to be back in wonderful Winnipeg. Before Mike Patton says girlfriend not be Canadian enough, he's kind of a jerk. Then lets Cassie finish the introduction. Page actually wants to "Oh yeah, A" instead of the usual casual Cassidy bit, so the crowd plays along. We get the music back. So we get that trios match. Now we get Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy go against Sebastian with massive damage and Mo Jabari. So Isaiah and Mo start the match off to trade some chain wrestling sequence, and they round the ropes with Cassidy and arm drags and some neck breaker. Matt Hardy takes and hits the double elbows. Jabari, with a few strikes, takes Sebastian Wolf, who hip toss and makes some arm riders before Hardy starts bouncing around the corner, the turnbuckles. Ethan Page takes it, and him and Hardy both hit second rope elbow drops. Page takes and Isaiah Cassidy, who jumps in the arm Wolf. 10 punches in the corner from Isaiah, but damage distracts him while Wolf to trip him off the ropes. Jabari takes it now, and Cassidy will take Page in, who hits a Kuna power slam with Jabari. Everything breaks down. We get triple side effects, Pojer motion, and then the Eagle's Edge for the victory at 4 minutes and 5 seconds. This was a fun little match. I give it 5 out of 10. Then after the match, we got Stokely Hathaway. He was at ringside. He walks in, addresses on Jabbar, sending a message to Hook for the match on Dynamite. And then Cassidy and Hardy help Stokely if everyone starts standing to celebrate. Then we go to our tag team match. We got Top Flight, that is Dante and Darius Martin go with Sean Moore and Michael Richard Allen Clark, or make it short, Mark. So Darius Martin and Sean Moore starts us off. They trade Andres, and Darius grabs a carve-it. That's a hell from Darius, and Moore kicks him to stop the antics. Then Darius hits a Manhattan drop, followed by neckbreaker. Dante Martin tags on loads in the corner. Then Darius takes back, hits a suplex. Dante comes back with a heel out, taken in, double draw kick to Michael, Richard, Allen Clark. Then Darius takes back in. Clark trips over running Darius, and Moore hits a draw kick to stop the momentum. Clark takes and hits a power slam and some push-ups on Darius, but Darius just kicks him in the face and hits some punches for Moore takes back in. They keep Darius isolated. Darius fights out the Clark and takes in Dante. Dante runs a wall for a bit, hits a crossbody, but Clark breaks up the pin. Darius with a CCD to Clark and Dante dives onto him, and then Darius spikes Moore with a lifting DT, and then Dante hits the Mop by Splash for the win at 4 minutes and 15 seconds. I give this 5 out of 10. Just gives Top Flight some momentum hitting their tag team title match on Dynamite. Then we get our Proving Ground match with the Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena going with Taylor Ryzen. So this is a Ring of Honor specialty. So Taylor Ryzen has to win or survive the 10-minute time limit to get a shot at the women's title. So Athena starts the match with an elbow. She just floors Taylor Ryzen. Then Athena kicks her to the floor and then falls out her, slamming her into the barricades. Taylor counters and sends Athena to the ring steps, but tries to follow Athena hits an Alabama slam on the floor. That was a nasty bump. Back in the ring, Taylor tries to fight back with a back elbow and down her crop. She hits a pedigree for only a 2 count. She goes up top rope and gets a flying nothing. Athena takes advantage with a shotgun dropkick, meteor, and then locks in the crossface for the submission win at 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Fun, short little match. I get this one 6 out of 10. And since Taylor Ryzen lost, she doesn't get a Ring of Honor women's title match. Then after the match, Athena with a gore buster over the ropes and Ryzen out of the ring. Then face plants Ryzen into the Ring of Honor women's title to close that segment. So she did on Ring of Honor TV. She did challenge Yuka Sakazaki for Supercard on as on March 31st. We don't know if it's official. We're just waiting on Yuka to accept. But hopefully, I hope we do get that match. That would be excellent. Then we go to our tag team with Naturally Limitless. That's Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee. Go against Levi Knight and Jesse B. So Dustin and Levi start off first. Dustin runs more than hits an arm drag and takes in Keith Lee. Naturally Limitless with some corner work and Lee with a back body drop. Jesse takes and runs into Lee but can knock him more. So Lee hits a short block to not take him down. Keith with wrenches on the arm for a bit. Then Jesse fights back. That just annoys Lee, who just hits a hit butt. Jesse with a standing belly button suplex takes over the Knight, who hits one of his own. Dustin takes Ben, hits some strikes and a snap power from there. Keith Lee lifts Dustin Rhodes up, tosses him into Jesse and Levi Knight. Spine buster from Lee to Jesse, then Rhodes hits the Reckoning for the win at 2 minutes and 41 seconds. I give this 5 out of 10. I actually like this team of Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes. This is their second or third tag team or match as a team, but I thought they work together. Then our main event, we got another tag team match. This time it is Dark Order. Alex Reynolds, John Silver go against Tony Nese and Ari Daivari. So they attack Nese and Daivari attack Daivari for the bell. We get some ringside brawling. Silver winds up isolating the ring. He swings chops at Nese, but Mark Sterling strikes the referee low. Nese and Daivari to stomp on Silver on the floor. We get back in the ring. Daivari takes and lands some stomps. Then takes Nese back in. Silver tries to fight out of the corner, but Nese fights on a spinning kick after rolling for a sunset flip. Silver tries to fire over strikes and runs series of kicks, but he flips out a German suplex, double stomp to Nese, and both men are down. Both men take out Alex Reynolds run 12 for a bit, sending both Daivari and Nese out of the ring, hit a tope suicide on both of them. Back in the ring, Daivari runs into a pop-up knee and a tiger driver from Reynolds, who goes for the cover, but Nese broke up the fall. Johnson returned Nese fight for a bit. Both first times, Daivari hits a reverse DT on Reynolds. Nese takes him, but Silver breaks up their tandem move. So we get kicks all over the ring for Daivari, hits an uppercut. Assisted uppercuts or that least needs to get hit with the ping pong sequence. That's basically their like stunner German suplex jackknife combo for the win at 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Not a bad maven. I give it 6 out of 10. Overall, not a bad episode of Dark Elevation. I mean, 9 matches. Just a quick watch. But to pick matches from this show, I'd say the Ferns match, the Top Flight versus Mark and Sean Moore, the Program Ground match, and I say the Maven, or the ones I say check out. But that was Dark Elevation. Now we go to Dark. For the second week in a row, we had 5 matches. I'm not complaining. So 5 matches again for the second week in a row. So we kick it off with Juice Robinson going with Leon Ruffin. So Ruffin locks a side heel hook on Juice Robinson, but Juice escapes before Ruffin locks in a short tackle. Or looks for a short tackle, sorry, but Juice blocks it and sends Leon crashing the top rope. Throws him to the outside and throws him into the barricade, and he flexes his biceps. So he throws him again to the barricade for a second time, got first and sends him climbing with a ring post. He gets him back in the ring, goes for a cover for a 2 count, then Juice gets in the face of the referee. Leon manages to hit a hanging neck breaker, falls over and cut her off the middle rope. Tries to go for a pin on Juice, but Juice whirls to the outside to avoid, which is smart. So Juice falls him out there and looks to get back in the ring, but Juice pushes Ruffins off him. So Ruffin hits a baseball draw, gave him on the rope, then hits a tope suicida. He gets Juice back in the ring. He hits a cannonball. Try to go for a splash off the top rope, but Juice got his knees up. He hits a cannonball of some point. Leon is insecure in a roundhouse kick. Juice fires back with a release German suplex and then left-handed God. Goes for a cover for a 2 counter at the very last second. So Juice plans him to the mat with the Juice is loose for the win at 8 minutes and 5 seconds. This was a great opener to kick off this week's Dark. I give this 7 out of 10. And then we got our second match. We got the battle. Well, we got Layla Gray versus Kiera Hogan, former baddie member versus current baddie member. Well, the baddie, honestly, it's just her and Jay Cargill. The match starts with a lock up that Kiera slaps Gray, hits him several bars at a draw kick. She falls with a sliding boot before Gray sends her to the crash in the middle rope face first. Hogan hits a super kick and Gray rolls to the outside. She tries to go for a big boot to the side of Kiera's head, then races right hand to the lariat. Falls with a suplex and plants Hogan face first. Hogan delivers a series of elbows, then a double sledgehammer. Gray comes out with a rising knee strike, running ball, goes for a but Gray rolls up for a hand onto the tights for the win at 5 minutes and 35 seconds. This wasn't too bad. I give it 5 out of 10. In our third match of the evening, we have tag team match with Art Savages, Boulder, and Bronson, who are formerly known as Bear Country, but they changed their name a couple months ago. Go gets the Wingmans, Ryan Nemeth, and Caesar Benoit. So Boulder and Caesar starts this match with a lockup, and then Benoit hits a body slam, but Boulder returns the favor. So Ryan Nemeth takes it and gets one of his own before Bronson plays in with a backbreaker. Fires with a few right hands and hits a delayed underhook gutbuster. So Benoit takes back in and hits a knee to the midsection of Bronson. Hits a delayed Fergal suplex and a running kick. Nemeth takes back in and races into right hands. Then breaks Bronson's eyes. Bronson sends in a move, goes flying. Then takes Boulder back in. Boulder hits it back body drop to Ryan Nemeth, then gets him on his shoulders. Caesar Benoit does charge up, but Boulder catches him. Hits the fallaway slam solo jump combo. Bronson takes it and Nemeth hits him with a DDT. Goes for the cover, but Boulder broke it up. Then he lays out Nemeth with a power slam. He gets Bronson in the electric chair it, and the arms hit it assists a splash for the win at 7 minutes and 5 seconds. This wasn't a bad tag match. I give this one 6 out of 10. Then on more tag match, we get the Renegade. I thought they were twins, honestly, but turns out they're not twins. They are sisters, but they're not identical twins, so that was good to know. So the Renegades, that is Robin and Charlotte, go against Avery Bridger and Mafia. I do apologize if I didn't pronounce that name right. I apologize. So Charlotte Renegade says on Avery Bridger, but Avery hits a boot and knocks Robin off the apron. Charlotte delivers a right hand across Avery's spine as Robin pulls Mephisto off the apron. Robinson takes in before Charlotte takes back in the Renegade. The Renegade takes a double elbow drop. Charlotte whips Avery into the corner, takes back and Robin. Mephisto takes back and she hits a kick. Then a snapper in her spotlight wave drop. Robin hits a super kick, takes back in Charlotte. So the Renegades hit a Bulldog spinebuster combination to score the victory at 3 minutes and 12 seconds. This wasn't bad. I gave it 5 out of 10 as well. Then our main event, the fifth and final match of the show. Tony Storm goes well with Billy Starks. So Storm wastes no time. She delivers several stomps, then tosses Starks across the ring. Hits the sweet cheeks or the hip attack. That sends Starks crashing to the outside. Excuse me. She hits an elbow on the right hand and whips her into the ring post face first. Storm tosses Starks back and hits a chop and a kick. Starks hits the series of right hands, but Storm delivers a knee. Starks hits a back heel kick, then Silver kicks across Storm's chest, but Storm hits a German suplex. Starks extends to the top, hits a senton automato, goes for a cover, but Storm kicks out and hits a hair whip. Then she mockingly kicks Starks and then slaps her, but Starks responds with deathly drive. She goes to the top rope, but Storm pulls down, hits Sweet Cheeks music, half and half suplex, and then the Storm Zero for the win at 6 minutes and 13 seconds. Not a bad maven. I give it 6 out of 10. Overall, I'm a quick watch, 5 matches, so can't complain. The only matches I recommend, I say Juice versus Leah Ruffin and the main event. That's probably the only two I say I recommend checking out. Wasn't overall, but if I had to choose two, that'd be the two I check out. easily choose Ross and Leah Ruffin was match of the night. And now we will go to Dynamite for March 22nd. So we kick it off with an A-1 segment with the Young Bucks, as Heyman Page, Kenny Omega, Don Callis, Brandon Cutler watching on. It was at the Young Bucks for attack earlier as Page and Cutler left to go to the hospital. Then we go to our opening contest of the evening of the show. We have International Champ Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Sting teams up to go against Kip Sabian, the Butcher, and the Blade. So Cassidy and Sabian starts this matchup with Sabian sends Cassidy out of the ring right away, but Cassidy does right back to him. Butcher takes as Cassidy tags at the Sting, and he no-sells the gloves from the Butcher for attacking him in the corner, hits the Stinger Splash, tries to go for the Scorpion Deathlock, but everybody else runs in the ring. Butcher and Blade hit a double suplex on Sting, followed by a splash attempt from Sabian as Sting rolls away. Sabian tries to do another core, but Sting pulling Orange Cassidy and rolling away again, so he tags in Darby Allin, who gets a 2 count on the Sabian after hitting the code red. Penelope Ford gets unable to strike the referee as Sabian, the Butcher, and the Blade take advantage as we go to pitcher-in-pitcher. We come back from the pitcher-in-pitcher break. Darby Allin takes it to Orange Cassidy, who has a crossbody off the top to Sabian. While Sabian is celebrating, he turns around and Sting Mysterio, who attacks Sabian, the Blade, and the Butcher before locking Sabian in the Scorpion Deathlock. But the Butcher and the Blade start punching away Sting and officially broke up the submission. Allin hits them with a double coffin drop up the ropes, but Sabian takes him out. So Sabian and Orange Cassidy go at it, but Orange dies on the Blade on the outside. Darby takes out Sabian with a stunner before diving onto the Butcher, and Sting hits the Scorpion Death Drop for the victory at 11 minutes and 19 seconds. This wasn't a bad opener. I give this one 6 out of 10. Then after the match, we see Cassidy put sunglasses on Sting as Darby Allin staring in the corner, staring at the Double or Nothing banner. Then we get footage of last week's free bar mitzvah, and then comments from the AEW World Champ, MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara, all talk about winning the AEW World title. Then we get a field package of the history leading to the dream match between Kenny Omega and El Hijo de Fakina. So basically, the backstory, they were supposed to meet back in AAA back in 2021, but Omega had injury, so he had to vacate the AAA Mega title. So that's the story there. Then we get Excalibur saying, "Come to Brandon Cutler, Texan, Houston, Blackpool, Combo Club, tucking the Young Bucks." Excuse me. Then we got our second match. Then we have the Guns, Austin and Cole, defend the World Tag Team titles against Top Flights, Dante and Darius Martin. So Austin Gunn and Dante Martin start the match off. After beating Austin Gunn takes on to his brother Colton. Darius Martin tags as Top Flight stays in control and closes the Guns to the outside. As Austin was distracting the referee Aubrey Edwards, Colton snaps Dante's neck on the ropes as we go to a commercial break. We come back for break. Darius is in control as he attacks the Guns as he hits Austin with German suplex, then hits Colton with the standing Spanish fly for a 2 count. Dante hits Austin with the nose dive, but Colton broke up at the last second. Here comes the Kingdom, that is Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. He runs start attack Darius on the outside, which distracts Dante, who actually he runs into the 310 to Yuma. That is a flapjack flatliner combination. I actually like their finisher for the win in the retaining World Tag Team titles at 7 minutes. It was okay. It wasn't too bad of a match. I give it this one 5 out of 10. Just me nitpicking. I kind of wish they had maybe a couple more. I would add 2 or 3 more minutes to this, but it wasn't bad. But kind of figured the Guns were retaining. So after the match, Top Flight chases the Kingdom away. They've been feuding on Ring of Honor TV over the last couple of weeks. Then here comes FTR to confront the Guns. FTR said they want Guns business. They didn't want to fight, but the Guns says nobody wants to hear them talk as they are losers. And who lost them lost 3 sets of belts, which is true. They lost the IWGP Tag Titles to Bismarck back at Wrestle Kingdom. They lost the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles to the Briscoes back at Final Battle in December. And then they lost the AAA Tag Titles at their December Mania show to Tedesco and Dragon Lee, who is in NXT right now. And nothing will convince them. So Cash Wheeler said, what about they lose to get out a challenge for them? Which the Guns said no to. Well, Austin said no. Then Wheeler offers to break up if they lose. Austin yells there's nothing they can offer them. So Dax Harwood takes the microphone and says if they can't beat him win the titles, they will quit AEW. So Austin immediately agrees to it. As they go to shake FTR's hand, they spit at them to close that segment. So I don't think this will be double or nothing. That would be way too long. I say this is probably gonna be a TV match. Honestly, I don't see it being at double or nothing. It'd be kind of too big for Battle of the Belts. And then we go backstage. We see Renee Paquette as TBS Jim J. Cargo's reaction for Tyler Falconer's debut last week. Smart Work started shows a cease and desist case to tie to no use to Jay as their finisher. I know this is the story, but technically Ty's been using that finisher a lot more than Jade is, but that's just nitpicking. They let great offers to deliver the contract personally to Ty this Saturday as a match before me. All out both Stokely Hathaway's no DQ match. But they kept saying Friday. A lot of them did say Friday during the show. Excalibur did say once, but he's been pretty good with. I get they're used to doing it on Fridays, but this week they're doing it on Saturday due to the, I think, NBA or something like that. NBA or NCAA tournaments. Some basketball stuff's going on. That's why they got pushed back to Saturday. So before the next match, Stokely Hathaway gets on the mic and he says he's medical clear to compete and announces his return today and thanks all 12 of his fans. As he handshots Roberts' doctor's note and notices he's sick as Roberts tries to take a receipt for Wingstop. So Bryce Resident starts the match. So we get to that match now. Is Hook, the FTW champion, go against Stokely Hathaway. This is a non-title, no DQ match. So Hathaway runs into the crowd while Hook's running after him. Hook suplexes Stokely on the outside before he sends back in the ring. Hook grabs a guardrail from under the ring, sits in the corner as the firm is watching back in the back, saying they didn't trade for this. The hardcore stuff, which I did get a laugh at. I did laugh at that. Hook goes after Stokely, but he sprays him with a fire extinguisher and then tries to go after with a chair, but Hook takes it from him and then uses before super into the guardrail. Goes for the cover, but he stops at 2.5 and then locks in the Red Rum for the submission win at 3 minutes and 16 seconds. This was okay. Didn't hurt anybody. I give this one like 4 out of 10. And then we see backstage Matt Hart tells Ethan Page he could be the one to beat Hook as Page tells Hart to get the contract ready. Then we see rapper Tech 9 sitting in the crowd. I haven't seen him in a long time. And then we get Adam Cole. He comes in the ring and he tells us we're 7 days away from him returning to the ring. Cole mentions all the questions who include his opponent be on March 29th, but before he could say anything else, he was interrupted by JS's Daniel Garcia. He asks who's ready for storytelling with Daniel Garcia, then goes to update Cole on a few things, and the crowd tells him to shut up. Garcia says that Cole's like becoming a locker room leader and not welcome back, but put him in his place as well. He's done well with Cole's own place to do video games. He tells he beat Trio Champ Bro King, Ricky Starks, and Brian Danielson. It made him more AEW program more than anybody on the AEW roster in the last year, which is true. Garcia continues and stops short from calling himself he almost said professional wrestlers, but he stopped himself as a sports entertainer. Then asks Cole what makes him so special. So Cole says when they ring the bell, that makes him special. Says he likes Garcia and someday he could be the guy that leads a charge in AEW, but his problem is the company that he keeps in the Jericho franchise giving him his false sense of security. And even without wrestling in 9 months, he's still Adam Cole. Cole said the whole time he was at home hoping for a second chance. It looks like he found the second chance, and Garcia's crazy enough to challenge him, and he's on. This is not only his return match, but staying into one of the best pro wrestlers in the world is back. Cole says it would be a great night for the AEW fans, but not for Garcia to close that segment. So we got that official for Wednesday. In the backstage, Alex Moore trying to get word with Don Callis and Kenny Omega, as Omega says he's worried about the Young Bucks. Callis says he's in Michael Nakazawa with them, and he's going to be in the ambulance, but best to have him Omega. Now he can focus on his singles career in the match with El Hijo de Vikingo. Then we go to our fourth match of the show. We have John Moxley representing Blackpool Combat Club go against Dark Order Stu Grayson. So Stu goes after Moxley in the corner, but Moxley turns around as they start trading chops. In the corner, they go back and forth with shoulder blocks before Moxley escapes to the floor. But Grayson quickly sends him back inside and hits them with Hurricane. They find the apron. Mox sends Stu flying to the barricade. We go to picture-in-picture. Excuse me, we come back from picture-in-picture. Moxley is in control before Stu takes control and hits to the top rope, but gets trapped by Weirdo and Claudio Castagnoli. But as they're arguing with the Dark Order, excuse me, Stu takes on the top rope moonsault. Stu stays in control and hits a 450 splash on Moxley for a 2 count. Tries to go for the knife ball, but Moxley versus a bulldog choke. After into a choke, Stu powers out and sends Moxley crashing into the corner with a cannonball to break it up. Stu dodges the paradigm shift and hits a backflip kick before he goes to the top rope. Moxley meets him up there, rakes the back up to Grayson, hits a headbutt, and then avalanche Death Rider for the win at 10 minutes and 5 seconds. I give this one 6 out of 10. This was a fun little match between these two guys. As this feud between Blackpool Combat and Dark Order not over yet. So we go backstage for Ricky Starks, and she asks where he stays with Juice Robinson. Ricky says he's sick and tired of this talk and challenges Juice to starting on Rampage. He did say Friday, because he's so sick of this and calls it the crazy thing he's better the whole life than tell Juice to be a man or not. He doesn't give a damn anymore. Then we go to our second episode of QTV. as Harley Cameron talks about the hot new prospect of Ray Phoenix, and it shows footage of the TNT title match from last week's Rampage. As QT Marshall how Pentagon Jardine come out to help his brother, then makes fun of Alex Hernandez, and so make the world getting robbed as Aaron Solo talk about how he hacked in Dave Meltzer's Twitter and starts posting about hotels. So they mentioned TT Champ Powerhouse having another open challenge. QT did say Friday, but it's on Saturday. As the Internet will face Pentagon Jr. Then we go to our fifth match. We have Tony Storm versus Sky Blue. Outsiders versus the OGs. So Blue starts the match, injured by taking Storm to the outside with a drop kick that falls with a hurricane on the outside. Sky goes to top with Storm, knocks her right down, knocks her off the apron with a Sweet Chicks music, where Saran and Ruby's host start attacking Blue. Storm places Blue on the ring post, starts chopping her. But Blue moves out of the way, Soho gets a shot instead to go to pitcher. We come back from break. Blue takes control by hitting Storm with a roundhouse kick, then a double cross body. Blue hits a rising knee strike and then into gear for a 2 count. Storm starts to cope. Blue attempt hits an DT for a 2 count. Blue blocks a hip attack, then hits the cope. Blue Soho distracts the referee on the apron. They go back and forth before Storm hits a shotgun drop, Sweet Cheeks music, German suplex, and then the Storm 0 for the win at 8 minutes and 15 seconds. I give this one 5 out of 10. This was okay. And after the match, the Outcasts continue to attack Blue after, and they were trying to spray paint her, but here comes Riho and Wheel 9 go to make the save. Then we go backstage. Stu Grayson's getting medical attention. Then we see Moxley said this is business and then chokes him out as Wheeler and Coverage there. So we go to our main event now. We have Kenny Omega versus El Hijo de Vikingo. This is the dream match. So Vikingo attacks Omega for the bell rings with 2 dives to the outside as Paul Turner stops him to get inside the ring to officially start the match. Once that happens, Vikingo hits a pulsar Hurricane into the corner. Plus a corkscrew kick and then knee strike sends Omega to the outside. Vikingo falls with a shooting star press on the floor. Then back inside the ring, he hits a 450 splash for a 2 count. Omega comes back with a toe-to-walk backbreaker for his own 2 count. Then he go back out to the outside, where Omega whips Vikingo into the barricade before grabbing a table from under the ring. As we go to pitcher and pitcher, the fans and Independence Missouri won at tables. So we come back from pitcher and pitcher. Both men are trading chops before Omega hits Vikingo with a monkey flip. They go back in the apron with Vikingo, reverses that dragon suplex, hits the dragon Rana to Omega from the apron to the floor. That was a nasty bump. They hit to the top rope with Vikingo counters an awesome bomb with a Hurricane, followed by a Phoenix Splash from outside the ropes to the inside of the ring for a 2 count. Omega carries a springboard move for Vikingo and hits him with 2 powerbombs and a feed trigger for a 2 count. Omega fires with a snap dragon suplex, then another feed trigger. Tries to go for the 1-win angel, but Vikingo gets himself out of it, hits a diving pose on Rana, sends Omega laying on the table. Then he follows it with a springboard 630 splash for the table. Then they get back in the ring. Vikingo gets a 2 count. They go back forward as Vikingo hits a powerbomb for a close 2 count. Vikingo goes to the top, misses 630 senton. Omega nails him with the feed trigger, 1-wing angel to put him away for the win at 16 minutes and 53 seconds. This was an excellent match. I give this one 11 out of 10. This is I say only match I recommend check it out. So after the match, Tony finally hits the ring, trying to go over Omega, who starts he doesn't know how much of this he can do anymore if he gets attacked behind by the Blackpool Combat Club. Then we see an ambulance driving the ring as him and Page steps in with a weapon before heading to the ring and scares up the Blackpool Combat Club. Don Callis goes to grab Page, but who almost hits him with the barbed wire nail thing majigger before realizing who lets go. So Callis pulls an acre and falls falls onto the floor as being attacked as Omega starts on the Page. They need to attack Callis. So Callis starts to hurt me, rolls out, and his Page looks disappointed to close out this week's episode like Dynamite. This was okay episode of Dynamite. This is really a one-match show. The only one. If I had to go in order, if I had to pick 3, I'd say Omega, Vikingo. The trios match was okay. Moxley and Grayson was good, but I say just check out Omega Vikingo. That's probably the only match I recommend checking out. And then I'll run down the cards for this week, and then I'll tell the Ring of Honor stuff real quick. So we had Saturday's Rampage. It is on Saturday this week, not tonight on Friday. So Powerhouse Defensive Team Tag is Pentagon Jr., 1/3 of the Trios Champ Brody King versus Jake Hager. Taya Valkyrie goes on with Layla Gray. And they claim Anthony Bolts, Matt Castro gets the Kingdom, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett. Monday's Dark Elevation with Tony Nese and Ari Daivari go against Lane Summers and Campbell Myers. Nyla Rose and Rhea Shabir of the Beast of Burns go against the Hales of Sage and Bryan. Will Nightingale is in action against Maggie Lee. The firm's Big Bill and Lee Moriarty go Zach Klein and Cyclone Anaya. In another Proving Ground match, we have Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena versus Tootie Lane. We got the firm's Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy go get Spanish announced project. That is Luther Serpentico and Helgo in a trios match. Riho goes one with Diamante. And then next week's as of right now, Adam Cole for Daniel Garcia, they'll announce more matches on Rampage. So that's the AEW Weekly Wrap Up stuff. I'm just going to double Ring of Honor super quick. So we had 10 matches. So we had Mark Briscoe defeating Tony Nese at 8 minutes and 55 seconds. AR Fox played Christian Metalik defeating the Trustbusters. Ari Dwyer, GSK, Slim J, 7 minutes and 18 seconds. Sky Blue defeating Lady Frost, 8 minutes and 55 seconds. And some tag team match with Left Fashion and Ganadways, that's Jordesco and Roosh. They defeat the Foundation as Red Tights and Tracy Williams, 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Matt Taven defeating Darius Martin, 7 minutes and 35 seconds. 1/3 of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag teams, Brian Cage defeating Tony Deppen, 4 minutes and 28 seconds. In the battle of the former television champions, Shane Taylor goes along with Silas Young. Shane Taylor defeats Silas Young, 6 minutes and 46 seconds. Billy Starks defeat Miranda Ali, 6 minutes and 57 seconds. More tag team match with Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, defeating Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal, 14 minutes and 11 seconds. And the main event for the TV title, Samoa Joe retaining his cheeseburger in 1 minute and 2 seconds. Nothing was announced for next week. But I'll run down Supercard. That is next Friday, March 31st. So we have to reach for the Sky Ladder match for the vacant Ring of Honor World Tag Title. So the 5 teams are the Lucha Brothers, that's Pentagon Joe, Ray Phoenix, Top Flight's Dante and Darius Martin, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett of the Kingdom, Aussie Open and Left Faction and Canales. We have Soldier defending the TV title against Mark Briscoe. El Hijo de Vikingo will defend his AAA Mega title as Commander. Claudio Castro will defend the Ring of Honor World title against Eddie Kingston. That is confirmed, but the rumor ones pretty much is that they defend the Ring of Honor World title against Yuka Sakazaki. Weird defend the Pure title against Kashira Shibata. And the Embassy defend the 6-man tag titles against Air Fox, Blake Christian, and Metalik. Those 3, we don't know if they're official yet, but we haven't. But so that was this AEW Weekly Wrap Up, Ring of Honor stuff. I'm your host, Ethan Black. We'll see you next week. Stay safe, guys.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.